You know, I was challenged to make a whiskey cocktail with chocolate liqueur. And what I decided to do was to counter challenge and mix that up a little bit. Instead of making a chocolate liqueur and whiskey cocktail, I made my cocktail with tequila. I wanted to make a stirred cocktail, and I'm going to go through what the build here and how I decided what goes in the sauce and what doesn't. It's just an interesting way to figure out how to build your own cocktails. This is Tuesday Night Cocktail Club. We bring you the best of the pro bar to your home bar. So one of my club members and I were talking about a cocktail, and he had the idea of mixing chocolate liqueur with whiskey. I thought it should be better with I thought it would just be a little more interesting to make it with tequila, because I've actually recently done a whiskey and chocolate liqueur cocktail. And then I just thought, what else could go in there? I think I did try elderflower liqueur. The floral in this didn't really come through with all of that. And so I ended up using Orange Curaçao. I did not use the Cointreau. I thought this is a little drier and it just kind of goes better with this cocktail. And so I'm going to mix it up here for you. In my tin, I've got some ice here. And then I've got 2 ounces of the tequila. I'm using Espolòn. I think this is a good workhorse. The Blanco and the Dark both are really good and reasonably priced tequilas. So that's sort of my house tequila these days. And then I have a half an ounce of the chocolate liqueur. To make the chocolate liqueur, what I do is I buy, I think it's called De Kuyper, which is a lower priced series of liqueurs. They have triple sec, they have the chocolate liqueur, they have other things too, creme de menthe, those kind of things. And I take my chocolate De Kuyper and I buy chocolate nibs at Whole Foods or your Whole Foods or your health food store or whatever, and I mix that in with my De Kuyper. I pour it into my own thing, and I let it sit there for 2 weeks or so, and it really does boost the infusion of the chocolate. I was afraid the De Kuyper would be too sweet, but it really balances well, and it's not too sweet, especially when you add the chocolate that way. And then I'm using half an ounce of the Orange Curaçao, and then I have orange bitters. I'm using Angostura orange bitters. Reagan is also really good. I don't know, I feel like the Angostura is more astringent. Anyways, and then I'm going to give it a little stir here. And then, especially with something like this where I have never made it before, and it's just an original cocktail, I'm going to taste it. I think that's really a great cocktail, actually, but it gives me a chance at this moment to fine tune it if I needed it. If I felt, it was too dry, if it needed a little more sweetness or whatever, you can always, this is a point where you can adjust. And this really is an advantage, perhaps, of being a home bartender, is, you can taste it and adjust it. It doesn't have to be exactly the same every single time. There are people who I make cocktails for who I know really want a sweet cocktail, and so maybe I would have added a little more of the chocolate or a little more of the Curaçao just to kind of temper it a little bit. On the other hand, somebody who would not take that cocktail quite so seriously if it was too sweet and too candy-like, so you adjust based on who you're making the cocktail for. And so there you have that. I've got my coupe. I got my glass here, and then I'm going to pour that out. And then I have a little orange peel here. Express the oils. And give it a little orange peel as a garnish. And there you have it. My friend who ordered this, is named Jamie. So this is Jamie's Order is the name of this cocktail. So I think the bitters really help with this cocktail, really ties it together, pulls out that orange flavor, evens out some of the sweetness of the chocolate. Those Orange Curaçao, really makes it more complex, adding that other flavor. Orange and chocolate is a classic combination. And I really do like the tequila in this drink. I think the whiskey, is a little too sweet. It's a little too expected. The dryness of the tequila really helps offset the sweetness of the chocolate. A lot of this depends on which tequila you're using and which chocolate you're using, and so you really gotta feel free to adjust as you go through it. Anyways, this is a delicious cocktail. Thank you, Jamie, for suggesting it. And so I think that's Tuesday Night Cocktail Club for this week. I think we're gonna get back into making highballs. Please like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and tell me what you think. Talk to you later. Thank you.